Hello, my loves. I thought I would give us my tissue. I thought I would give us a little view, a different view in the spirit room. We are just kind of facing the corner. This is like the back corner of the room when I'm usually like on the other side. So you can see I have like my little, this is kind of like a different meditation space. I like to have my meditation pillow here on the floor, and then I have my artwork. I have crystals, lots of crystals. That's my portal over there. You guys have seen that corner more. So yeah, I just thought it would be kind of fun to switch it up. And then also I am purposely sitting on the floor. I just got done recording a little reel on Instagram, trying to put out content and like stay with the trend, I guess you could say, since the reels are like really popular right now. So I'm trying to stick with the trend and just put something out on my page. So anyways, that is what we were doing. And then I was like, let's talk about the crystal. Where did I put it? Here it is. Let's just talk about the crystals that I was choosing. So it's been a while since I've done a crystal video where I like talked about a crystal, or I talked about the properties of a crystal. Like, I don't know all of them, but I do know the ones that I really favor. But I thought it would be kind of fun to kind of talk about the two that I have been working a lot with the last couple of days. Actually, there's a third one. I should probably go get it before we continue this video. Hang on one second. I also wanted to kind of close the blinds a little bit because it was getting a little bit too bright for my taste. And I wanted to grab the book. So I'm going to be referring to The Ultimate Guide to Crystals, The Beginner's Guide to the Healing Energy. This is a really good book. It doesn't have all of the crystals, unfortunately, but it is really good. So I do recommend it. Buy it on Amazon. That's where I bought mine. It's by Rachel Hancock, which is one of the owners of the crystal shop Loving Thyself Rocks. I follow them on Instagram, and yeah, she came out with a book, so I thought that was pretty cool. So there's 3 crystals that I have been working with a lot for at least the last week, but one of them has been for a lot longer, which is the citrine. So I guess we'll start with citrine first. The citrine that I'm showing you guys is more of a champagne citrine. It's more of a much more pale citrine. This is a free-form piece, meaning it is just polished, but it is in its natural form that it came in, so there's not any specific shape. It almost looks like a gem. It's really beautiful. It is jam-packed with rainbows. When the sun hits her, she's just gorgeous. She actually has a rainbow, it's like a butterfly shaped rainbow inside of her, and she's just magical. So champagne citrine. The other ones I've been working with are moss agate. So I have a moss agate palm stone, which is really, really beautiful and super, super grounding. And then the third crystal I have been working with is Lemurian Quartz. And this one has been specifically in meditations, moss agate for grounding. And the citrine has just been calling to me at least the last month. So let's start off with citrine. I never was attracted to citrine. I'm going to be honest. I was never attracted to citrine. I think I owned a couple rough pieces of the fake, quote unquote, the fake citrine, which is the heat treated amethyst. If you're in the market for citrine, make sure it's natural and it's real and it's legit. So I was never attracted to citrine. It just didn't call to me. I know that it's like really good for bringing in prosperity and abundance, and a lot of people work with it for money, but I just never felt called to have a piece until recently. And it just came to me at random. This was just something that like literally one day I was like, I really want to work with citrine, and I kept seeing it come up everywhere. It was popping up in videos, reels. It was popping up in a couple crystal live sales I was watching, and the citrine was like on the table, and It was finally when I think it was like one of the crystal sellers was talking about citrine, saying that the prices went up, and at the Tucson Gems show, the prices for citrine, like the natural real citrine, went up like double or triple the price that they were the year prior. So it kind of pushed me to be like, you know what? I think I'm going to shop around for a piece because I want to have it in the collection, but also I'm kind of curious, why does this stone keep popping up? So let's have a look in the book to kind of see what the citrine is all about. Citrine right here. So this is more of like this is a raw, citrine is a very like golden, amber-ish kind of a color. It's really beautiful. But it is, let's see, abundance, joy, digestive balance, wealth, and luck. So definitely is all about the abundance. The financial abundance brings joy and happiness, abundance, digestive balance, which is very interesting. Very, very interesting. So spiritual healing, just a couple notes. I'm not going to read it all. Radiates high vibrational energy, making it perfect when manifesting prosperity, success, and abundance. Stimulates a deeper connection with your higher self and spirit guides, and opens and activates and balances the solar plexus. So I love that. Definitely was working with the stomach for the last couple of months. Physical healing. So a physical healing, it helps to bring balance and healing to the digestive system and metabolism. It's known to boost stamina, endurance, and physical energy. And it supports healthy blood flow and circulation. So the fact that the fact that this crystal supports a lot of the digestive tract, it supports the stomach, and it supports the healthy blood flow and circulation is really, really interesting to me because, and I'll go into it right now, but let's read the emotional healing of this crystal. Helps reduce fear, worry, and anxiety. Helps you develop a positive attitude toward anything that life swings at you. And it provides support in releasing old limiting beliefs. So there's much more to it, but I'm only going to give you guys a couple points. But that's freaking crazy. So a little bit of a backstory with me of what I was going through in, let's say this is December, probably like the last 3 months of 2022. And I'm going to get a little vulnerable with you guys about this. So my health was kind of like going downhill. I was having a lot of anxiety attacks, just feeling unsteady in my body. I would wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I would just feel this rush of like blood flow all throughout my body. And I just didn't feel right. I have a fear of going to the doctor, blah, blah, blah. It's been a couple years since I've gone to the doctor, and I finally just was like, you know what, something's not right, let me go. And pretty much what the thing was my blood pressure was high. And it was high to a point where it was kind of like, I should have known better, you know, but because I just didn't, I wanted to not believe that it was happening. I just didn't put much thought into it, right? Until the physical, like I started to feel physically off. So long story short, I had to take care of that, and I'm, you know, taking care of it now, and I'm taking some medicine for my blood pressure because it was just not in a good place. And I've been somebody who prides myself on never having to be on any kind of medication. So having to go on to something that is for my blood pressure just really upset me. It like put me in this weird mindset of like, I don't want to have to be on medicine, but I realize that sometimes you have to do stuff for yourself that is going to, if it's going to help you, you know, you got to make that choice. So to each their own, everybody has their own way of doing things. I have to say for me personally, it was like night and day of how I felt and how I've been feeling. So that was like kind of like a weird, crazy kind of a thing that my body was going through. And then it was in January when I started to feel called to citrine. And I didn't know anything about citrine. So when I read this, I had already read the properties of it after the fact. It just was interesting that the blood circulation, the blood flow was like a thing of citrine. So just kind of shows that like your body will be drawn to, if you're into this spiritual stuff, your body is going to be drawn to something specific for a reason. So I've been working with Citrine a lot to work with the solar plexus as well, my stomach. I don't have bad digestive issues, but I did try to do green juice for the month of, it was all of January and a little bit into February. But my body is so sensitive to certain things that I noticed that it just was like not making me feel good. So I had digestive issues all throughout the end of like January and going into February. And I finally just said, you know what? I think it's the green juice. I'm going to stop it. I have to find just something else to substitute for that. I have to, because this thing isn't working for me. It's just kind of funny how the Citrine, I'm not saying the Citrine, it did not do anything to like make it go away, but it's just kind of funny where my body, I was so physically attracted to this specific crystal, and the properties of her match where I was going through or what my body was going through in that moment. So I freaking love her. Now I am focusing on Citrine for more attracting abundance into my life, and not just financial abundance, because, yes, financial abundance is nice, but I'm also working on bringing in client abundance, new follower abundance. Like I want a new audience. I want people who are going to respect my business and respect me as a person into my life. So that's what I've been working on with Citrine. Let's talk about the next crystal. So the next crystal is moss agate. So moss agate, I have to say, has been kind of a more grounding stone for me. This has been a crystal that just, when I hold her, I feel so relaxed. I feel so, I just like, sometimes I'll be like laying down on the TV, watching TV, and I'll have her like right here. And I'm just like, oh, like she just reminds me of like a warm cup of coffee in the morning. She reminds me of like grandmother love. I don't know. But let's see what moss agate is all about. So this one, so here's a picture of the moss agate from the book. And it is earthiness, new beginnings, abundance, balance, and stability. Okay. Spiritual healing, some spiritual healing of the moss agate. It helps you go through change and new beginnings with ease and excitement. It facilitates connection to Mother Nature, helping you become more present and grounded in the physical world. It helps to speed up manifestation process. Some physical healing. Acts as an anti-inflammatory, helping treat skin and fungal infections. It brings back into alignment the body and balance, and it supports a healthy immune system. And then the emotional healing. It helps one release old negative patterns and fears. It can relieve anxiety, stress, and worry. And it helps to balance emotions, preventing irritational mood swings. So I laugh at that because I definitely have my moments of irritational mood swings. I love that. But the fact that this crystal just naturally gives me that feeling of comfort, it makes me feel super relaxed. I'm using it intentionally for grounding. I love that the properties of what it brings up in that book is exactly what I feel. I also really love the skin irritation because I have eczema. So it's actually not that bad now, but every once in a while, like you guys can kind of see it there, I get itchy. So I get patches of like itchy, like scaly, dry rash. And I'll get it in like the corners of my elbows, sometimes on my knees, like in the inner side of my knee. Sometimes it'll be on my fingertips. It hasn't happened like here that often, that recently. But it's also in the creases of my eyelids or under my nose. And then it's also like in little patches on my stomach. So when I have like a flare up, it's usually when I'm really stressed. If I spend too much time in the sun does irritate my skin. But it's usually if I'm really freaking stressed. I'm pretty sure that there are certain foods that I may be eating that will irritate it. I'm suspecting rice might actually irritate my skin as well, but I have to get a whole, like, one of those tests done because that'll be interesting to find out. And I hope it doesn't, because I love rice. Like, I fucking love rice. So anyways, but the skin irritation and the fact that moss agate is known to treat. Now, how much do I believe that that's true? I don't. You know, I kind of feel like maybe the energy of it is it's like a placebo effect, but I don't believe that the rock itself is going to do much for my eczema, you know, like, I don't know, to each their own, right? But the energy properties of it, I love that intention. So definitely have been enjoying moss agate. Let's have a little water break moment. Okay, so let's get into the final crystal, which is my Lemurian Quartz. So Lemurian, what makes a Lemurian a Lemurian? The cut of the stone, but also the ridges on the sides. So Lemurian Quartz will have these horizontal ridges along the sides, and it's not always on every side. Sometimes it's like every other. But you are supposed to collect this download of information when you connect with this kind of crystal. The thing about the Lemurians is it's like there's like this connection to Lemuria, Atlantis, this connection to higher self. It is a very much like a crown chakra, third eye, higher vibrations, psychic kind of a crystal. But let's see what the book says about Lemurian before I get into why I've been so attracted to it. So Lemurian, here you could see from the book, mine looks pretty similar to her. So Lemurian, healing, divinity, highly vibrational, manifestation, and expansion. So some spiritual healing of the Lemurian. Expands your inner light, helps speed up the manifestation process, connects you to spirit guides, angels, and higher self, promotes karmic healing and removal of negative attachments. Wow. Okay. Physical healing. Supports a healthy heart, brain, immune system, and nervous system. Aids in a speedy recovery after surgery, bruises, injury, or physical trauma. And has the ability to work with any health conditions in the body to bring it back to balance. And then the emotional healing brings greater connection so you can see and love your authentic self, can provide healing from emotional trauma, and helps you to emotionally feel connected and understand that you aren't ever alone in this world. I really, really like the Lemurian Quartz. I love the physical healing where it talks about it's a healthy heart, brain, immune system. But I love that it says it promotes karmic healing because that's what I'm going through right now. So the Lemurian, I didn't start to feel called to bring it into my meditation process until this week. So for some reason I was like, and I'm telling you guys, it's like a random thought or just this feeling of like, I need this crystal right now. I knew I had a couple little pieces. I actually keep a smaller one in my wallet. And I also keep a tiny little citrine in my wallet too. I was digging around and I was looking for my Lemurians and I found my piece. And I've just been meditating with her. So what I usually do is I put this on my reel, but I usually put her on my third eye. So if I'm laying down, I will lay her down on my third eye. If I'm sitting down meditation, I'll just hold her there, you know, sometimes, you know, at the top of the head, but usually it's right here. And I focus on the energies of my third eye opening. I open up my crown. I see beautiful light going up from my crown up into Mother Earth. And then I just kind of roll my hand or my finger, usually it's my thumb, over the ridges on the sides, which is what they say you should do when you're meditating with Lemurian. You roll your thumb over the ridges on the side, all while in this energetic, meditative state. And you just kind of talk to spirit. At least that's what I do. Maybe some people are infused with these downloads and ideas, maybe, perhaps, but usually what I do is I'm sitting in meditation and I'm like, you know, rolling my thumb over the ridges of the Lemurian And I usually talk to Spirit in my mind. Spirit, what do I need to know right now? How do I solve this issue that I'm going through? You know, you kind of like talk to God. And as you're running your hand over the crystal, they say you're supposed to be receiving the downloads of that crystal. Technically, you could do this with any crystal, but the Lemurian, that's the specific of it. But you're supposed to tune inward. And honestly, I feel kind of relaxed right now that I did that. But you're supposed to tune inward and you're supposed to trust what Spirit is giving you. So that's what I've been doing. And the fact that the book says it helps with karmic lessons. Fucking Saturn, you guys. Sorry for my language. Saturn moved into Pisces on Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday, whatever day the 7th was. It's a big deal when Saturn moves into a planet. Saturn changes planets every 2 to 3 years. Saturn is a planet. It's a karma planet, okay? Saturn is about karma. It's about lessons. It's about blockages. It's about identifying where you need to heal, where you need to face the truth, where you need to release, where you need to transform. And when Saturn moved into Pisces, Pisces for me personally in my birth chart is heavily saturated with planets. I have a Pisces stellium, which means I have 4 planets in Pisces. I have Jupiter, the Sun, Mercury, and Venus in my Pisces house of the 10th house. So I am very, very, very heavily Piscean influenced based off of my birth chart. My chart ruler is Mercury because I have a Gemini rising. So Mercury is the ruler of my chart, but Mercury is in Pisces for me. So it is again another Piscean influence. And so when Saturn, a karmic planet, moves into a Pisces energy, I'm going to feel it hella intense. And I did. I felt the season change when we went from Aquarius to Pisces. I felt Saturn going into Pisces. I also felt the freaking moon. So we also had a full moon. I think it was a full moon in Virgo that was on the same day, the same freaking day that Saturn moved into Pisces. And for my birth chart, Virgo is the shadow of Pisces. They mirror each other. So I had that emotional mirror at me, right? So this week was literally a karmic week for me. I had a lot of stuff pop up, both in my personal life, in my social life, business, in my kind of just in my mind, like my little rain cloud moved in. I was on my period. There was just a lot of stuff happening to me on all levels of energetics, spiritual, physical, emotional, and yeah, all of those, right? So the fact that my body was drawn to Lemurian, and I was literally like 2 or 3 days ago, I was searching for this crystal, told me there was some property in it that I needed to focus on. And so she's been on my bedside table the last couple days. So that's just kind of like my little tip to you guys. If you feel drawn to a certain crystal or a color of the crystal or just something is pulling you to it, do your homework. Get yourself a book on crystals. You could do a Google search, but do your homework and look up the properties of that crystal. Why is it calling to you, and where in your life is like what's happening in your life alongside being called to a certain crystal. That's my own personal favorite way of working with them. And I don't know, I just love how everything is intuitively connected. That is my video for today. I just wanted to share this with you guys. I hope that this, taught you something. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you enjoyed just spending some time with me. But yeah, that is my video. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you guys in my next video very soon. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. Bye, my loves.